And you're still watching the AM show as always. Please make sure you get interactive. 0560 800,000 is our number for our WhatsApp platform. And you can also reach us as you go search for our page on Facebook, Joy News on TV. As you're doing that, we would also want to give you a lot more information on finance, the subject of energy, as we have the Finance Minister, Seth Terpker, and Acting Energy Minister in the studios of Joy FM being grilled there. We want to just still a little bit of the feed, and then we'll be back after some few minutes to continue regular programming from this very studio.
So it's an economy that has moved also from hydro and was using thermal. So there was a major disruption. We coined a word which has now gone into Wikipedia and other things, doom so. So that was a major challenge.
So that was one of the major issues that you think affected the
not that decline. I think it did.
That it did affect it.
It did affect because, sorry, let me just run through it quickly.
Okay.
So you had that disruption in power supply. I think that, we all know the complaints from industry, from businesses and others operating instead of 8 hours. We had to do a lot of, rationalization, and allocation of the little power that was available. We moved into emergency power to try, resolve it. The gold cocoa prices fell. Gold still remains in the tank. Cocoa has recovered somewhat after about a decade, of the run.
Yeah.
And then the latest was the crude oil, which contributed in terms of price and help us, particularly our export base, the value of the currency, the stability and everything crashed from about over 100, dollars per barrel. Today we're at, 45, 46. You may be lucky to even get 48, more than half. So, and then we had policy misalignment. Single spine was a major, misalignment. Because the economy was melting, we couldn't support our subsidy programs, and that also was a major misalignment. When you put all this together, the economy took a major hit. You couldn't be growing with these factors.
Okay.
And so from a very optimistic, we turned to a homegrown policy first to try and stabilize, to do corrections and stabilize, things, and then consolidate, and then do a turnaround. Now we say that we're in the turnaround era. And then whilst we were doing this, you also did some investments because we saw the potential in oil and gas, particularly Tenfield, and Sankofa. So one of the things that's going to happen tomorrow is the signing. I'm sure that your people will be there. The signing of the security, the last security indemnity, that would bring in the Sankofa, the FPSO, the third FPSO is being built. So the investments was taking place. So even though you were going through all this difficulty, you had to also keep your eye whilst you are doing the correction. We entered into an IMF program. So I hope that explains.
It really gives us a great context.
Why, the context, of the economy.
And I truly appreciate that. I'm sure our listeners do that as well. The question of double-digit deficit. I mean, even in the period where you had started, streamlining with your homegrown policies. For example, we had a double-digit deficit not only in 2012, but in 2013 and also in 2015. Why did we end up in a situation like that if indeed we had put in the prudent measures to ensure that we were not hemorrhaging as badly?
No, I think when you talk about the twin deficits, you are talking about first the fiscal deficit.
That's right.
That's the budget deficit. Let's try and simplify the budget. At the end of 2012 in particular, and then the current account, which is our ability to, the difference between our ability to generate foreign exchange and then use that foreign exchange. That's the external side of the economy. The reasons are just what I have said. When your economy faces these big shocks, and industry is producing 5 hours instead of 8 hours, 4 hours instead of they are not able to pay you the level of taxes
That is true.
that will be required.
But in that period,
But
we didn't see government, for example, we didn't see some kind of policy to mitigate the effect of the. But we didn't see that affect the single spine salary structure.
It did.
How did it?
Let's just come to some numbers.
Okay.
We don't want to dominate with numbers. We were at a fiscal deficit of 11.5, almost 12%.
That's right.
Today, the fiscal deficit is at 5%. It's heading towards 5%. Our target at the end of this year is 5.1.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of last year, we hit 6.7. 6.3.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, we were supposed to be doing 7.1. Originally 7.3 and then 7.1. So we overperformed, as far as that is concerned. So if you look at when the problem started, you can see that the deficit has been going down, and we can explain why bringing down the deficit is very important. When you talk about wages, the wages as a percentage of our tax revenue without arrears was 53.3%,
mm-hmm.
very high. That is, the budget has wages or compensation, mm-hmm. It has expenditure on goods and services, it has interest payments, and it has what you need to develop infrastructure. Even if you develop your infrastructure by loan, you have to pay back all those things. So when you are using 53% for only wages, it means that more than half of your own taxes that you are bringing is going into that. We should be around between 35 and 40%.
Mm-hmm.
So between the end of 2012 and now, at the end of our targets, it's around 40.6, but we brought it down to 43.7. Thanks to the whole forum, the post-whole forum in Takoradi, and policies such as determining the minimum wage and the base pay, before, so that you have a very fair idea of the cost, wages before you do the budget. We used to have a lot of agitation long after the budget had been read. Then we conclude these things, and they cause a lot of disruption.
Now we'll explore whether those things are going to stop in a moment. Let me remind our listeners that they can share questions with us by sending it via the social media handles on Twitter, Facebook, using the hashtag JoySMS, and all the social media messages on the Super Morning Show are brought to you by EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank. Old Mutual do great things. Now, EcoBank and South Africa Airways are offering you the SAA, EcoBank SAA Voyager card. And this is a MasterCard that will take you places never dreamed possible. You can earn up to 15,000 bonus Voyager miles on your first SAA ticket purchased and traveled. And you can enjoy premium check-in, one free additional piece of luggage, and a 10% discount on excess luggage, no matter what class you're traveling. You also have 45 days interest-free on all your payments and purchases you make with the card. Simply ask at any EcoBank branch or visit flysaa.com on how to apply for the Voyager MasterCard. Terms and conditions apply. EcoBank is the Pan-African Bank. South African Airways is a member of Star Alliance. And if you're wondering how you could avoid the hassle of raising money for funerals, which are inevitable in everybody's family at some point, you can sign up for Old Mutual's transition plan and get up to 50,000 Ghana cedis within 48 hours to ease the financial burden of funerals. Also, you don't have to pay any premium after 15 years, and you will receive 10% premiums paid every 5 years. Let's talk savings and insurance. Visit Old Mutual today, or call them on 0302-252-132, or email admin@oldmutual.com.gh. Old Mutual, do great things.
The new EcoBank South African Airways Voyager